How you going, everyone? Um, Sorry, I'm a little bit late today. Just getting a few things set up. You might notice that it looks a little bit different today. I'm doing this off my desktop, so hopefully it'll come through nice and clear. So you can see that I'm holding a bright pink massage ball today. So I thought what I'd do is go through um, how you can treat muscle pain, trigger points, myofascial pain with your mobile phone and a massage ball. So not just mobile phone. So there is a great app that I have been sharing with people for goodness quite a few years now. So I thought I'd share it with you guys because what better way than to show you how I sometimes I cheat with this app as well to actually see where pain's coming from, where it's being referred from. So here goes. So easiest way to find it is if you jump onto our website, so our free website, and just hit menu, and then scroll down and hit resources. And then see that beautiful app just there? Click on that, it'll take you through to the iTunes store, or at the moment I've only got an iTunes link for it. I don't have the Google Play link or the Google Store link. So if you're on Android, just go to the Google Play Store and type in trigger points. If not, there's a nice easy link for you if you're an iOS user. So that'll take you through to the iTunes Store. I've already got it on my phone, so you can just click open, and there it is. Okay, there are two ways that you can use this app, which I really love. So if you sort of know a muscle that you have issues with, you can go to either muscles and it will show you that little man, or if you are really good and you want a list of muscles, so if you've been told by another therapist or told by me that you've got an issue with a particular muscle, you can then type it into that little search bar and it will show you. Let me find one that's kind of a little bit interesting. Let me just search. So this is just showing you gluteus medius, so muscle in the side of your hip, showing you some trigger points. So the cross that you can see there, so I'm trying to do this in my screen, so it's just it's like a really bad weather lady. Sorry. So so that little cross there is actually the actual trigger point. So that's where the active trigger point is. You can see there's no blue shading around that cross. The blue shading is where the pain is. So you can see that the blue shading is more around here. Okay, so that's where you experience the pain. Okay, then another trigger point and another trigger point. So just a really nice app, really simple to search specific muscles. If you don't know the name of the muscle, then you can go to the muscle chart and you can actually just click on that. I don't know whether you can see that. There's little dots all over that man. And you can look at specific muscles. Where this app really comes into its own is you can see here the zones. So if you go to the zones chart, and again, I don't know whether you can see that, you can probably see it around sort of the hand here. There's little circles. What this is where you have pain, okay, or where you have symptoms. So again, if we look at, say, forearm pain, you can see, so infraspinatus is a shoulder muscle, scalene is a neck muscle, brachioradialis is an arm muscle, supraspinatus another shoulder muscle, okay? So you can see that you can get forearm pain from a lot of those different muscles. So if we just click on the top one there, so infraspinatus, again, the little dots down here show you that there's different screens, okay, so different trigger points. And then you can actually match up. You're better off looking at the blue shading, not the blue crosses, and looking at actually what your pain looks like and whether it looks like any of these patterns, okay? If one of those patterns actually looks familiar, then go and get your trusty massage ball onto those crosses and see if that gives you more discomfort than the surrounding area. Even better if it actually reproduces your pain, okay? So just a really nice, simple app that you can use. I think I've downloaded it a long time ago, so I don't know how much it is. So if someone can actually look and post it in the comments, I think it's around about $5. Okay, so pretty cost effective, really, when you think about what it can do and how powerful it is. If this saves you a trip to me, $5 compared to $80. I know which I'd be choosing to do. Yeah. So if you can use this 16 times, it's saving you. If you had to pay for it 16 times over, it's still only one physio consult. Okay. So think about, I know $5 these days for an app is, it's expensive. We're used to free and we're used to 99 cents, but $5 for an app that does what this app does is pretty cool. Okay. Good for self-treatment as well. So good once you actually know what the issue is, good for self-treatment. And also it reduces, in terms of when I'm treating you, if you can tell me, oh, look, I've done this and I've done this and this has really helped, but it hasn't helped long term. We know that now you've got active trigger points, but they may not actually be the cause of your problem. There might be a sort of more underlying cause. Okay. So that's that. All right. I was going to tell you something else. Something else about phones and technology. We're on Instagram. So if you're an Instagram user, look up Clear Physiotherapy on Instagram. The username is Clear Physio, and follow us on Instagram. So for little tidbits, little things on trigger points, injury management, similar to Facebook, similar to the stuff that's going to be posted on Facebook, but some people just prefer Instagram compared to Facebook. So if you're one of those people, yay, we're finally on Instagram. So please look us up and follow us. Alrighty, so what I thought I would also do is just go through how I use or how I teach my clients to use Massage Ball. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways to use it. So hopefully you can still hear me when I'm over here. So if we use that example of that glue med, what I do is put the massage ball kind of vaguely in that area where I wouldn't start straight on that trigger point, but vaguely in the area where you feel like that trigger point is, or where you've looked up on the app to see where it is. Then just have a bit of a search around. So I'm not using really hard pressure. I'm just having a bit of a search around to see if I can find where that pressure is. Okay. If I find one of those points that's just a bit tender, and I look at it like a bit of a lump. Okay. Now that might be a physical lump, so that might be sort of an area of tightness that you feel is a lot tighter than the surrounding area. You physically feel like you need to back off the pressure to get over that hump, to come back down and put the pressure back on again. Excuse me. Or it might be a pain lump. So you might start at, a 2 out of 10, and then you get to that peak and it might be, a 6 or 7 out of 10 where you need to back off that pressure to come back down the other side. So when you find one of those lumps, be it physical or pain, what you want to do is just find some different directions. So you might go side to side, okay? You might go up and down, but make sure you're coming off and going back on. Yeah, so it just depends. You can go diagonally. You can go diagonally in the opposite direction. You can also just find the peak of that lump and do some like a trigger point release. So just putting pressure on and maintaining that pressure. Okay. So when you're doing that trigger point release and when you're doing the release with movement, the peak of your pain wants to be about a 6 or 7 out of 10. Okay. So there is no point putting yourself through excruciating amounts of pain, because there's going to be two things that are going to happen. Psychologically, you're not going to want to do this again, okay? It's like the first time you ever used a foam roller to roll out your lateral quad. I don't know about you, but I don't think I did that for another 3 months because it was so painful. So if you can keep that at about a 6 or 7 out of 10 at your maximum pain, you're going to be more likely to do that often through the day, okay? And that's way more beneficial than doing it once and then coming back to it 3 months later, okay? The other thing is that if you're doing this and doing it too heavy or for too long, then you make yourself sore. So your body just can't cope with the amount of inflammation that you're creating. So if we're breaking down those bonds between muscles, if we're breaking down that, whether it be scar tissue, whether it be myofascial tissue, if we're breaking that down, our body needs to actually be able to resorb that. Okay, and it creates a degree of inflammation like we do when we have an injury, but just to a very small degree. If you're doing any kind of self-massage that is too hard for too long, then you're going to create too much inflammation and your body just physically can't cope with that. It just can't resorb it quick enough. And so what it does, it settles back in your tissue again, causes more scar tissue, causes more myofascial tension, and we're back to square one at best. Okay, so little bits often. Okay, so I usually suggest to people start with 2 minutes, but if 2 minutes is too much, then drop that back and do even less. So 30 seconds to a minute, but doing that multiple times a day so that when you're coming back to doing your next session, it's moderately sore at best. Okay, it shouldn't be anything more than moderately sore that eases pretty quickly. All right, so take it nice and easy when you first start. Err on the side of caution and do less rather than more in a session, but do more times in a day. Okay, and then what you can do is you can start building up those sessions to being longer and doing less of them in a day. So you might start doing 30 seconds 10 times a day, and you might end up doing, say, 2 to 5 minutes a couple of times a day. Okay, so same sort of time, but just breaking them down into smaller sessions so that your body can actually cope better. The other thing is start with just one muscle at a time. So if you're trying to pick which muscle is causing your clicky knee or your foot pain or your arm pain, then just start with one muscle, one trigger point or a couple of trigger points in that same muscle. Treat those and then see what effect it has. Okay, so there's no point treating 4 or 5 different muscles and then getting relief, which is fabulous. But if you're getting relief having treated 4 to 5 muscles, guess what you're going to have to do next time? You have to treat those 4 to 5 different muscles. Okay, so it's much more time effective to be looking at doing one muscle and getting no effect, then moving on to the next one that you think might be the issue, and then going from there. The other thing you can do is actually get an assessment and see what is the cause of your pain, and then do some self-treatment from that. Between sessions with your physio, myo, osteo, whoever you see is really effective. Just make sure that you're actually letting your treating practitioner know that you're doing that. So actually work as a team with them. I know for me, I love it when my clients want to do stuff between sessions because it actually makes my work easier and it also makes my work more effective. It gets you better quicker, so we're all happy. Okay, so message for today, these 2 tools, oh, hello kids, these 2 tools, oh there they are on the other side as well, are so effective for self-treatment and for, I think about $5 again, if someone can have a look and post in the comments as to how much that trigger point app is, pretty effective. And for anywhere between, I'm just having a look and saying, can't remember, $11. So less than $20, you've basically got your physio at home. So pretty good. Alrighty. So as always, if you've got any comments, suggestions, questions, feel free to post them in the comments below the video, and I'm more than happy to answer them either in next week's live or in the comments or by private message. So feel free, get in touch. Don't forget Instagram, if you're an Instagram user, Clear Physio, look us up and follow us. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and have a great week, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.